from the CBW Radio UK studios in Chelmsford, this is Off the Record with Big C and his trusty companions, Jazzy Geoff and Stinky Pete.
And a Happy New Year. We can still say Happy New Year, can't we, on the 7th of January? Is there a cut-off time? Cut-off date, maybe? Mid-January, maybe?
Mid-Jan, yeah.
15th of January.
7th of January is King's Day in those places that celebrate it. So I would say after today, no, but today's all right.
Okay, all right. So, I was wondering if, you meet someone for the first time this year, whether it's a Happy New Year will be acceptable on those in those circumstances.
Definitely.
But anyway, we're saying it because that's the way we rock and roll here on Off the Record. Happy New Year to everyone. Thanks for listening, watching, and welcome to 2026 to episode 195, I believe it is, which is season 7, episode 25. And it's been cold. It's been damn cold. How did you, Jazzy Geoff and Stinky Pete, my trusty companions, Christmas go? Was it fine? Was it cold? I know one of you was away.
Absolutely chaotic and really good fun. And I will probably sleep for about a month afterwards as a result of it. But yeah, it was lovely.
That's a granddad nap and a half, isn't it?
That was a granddad. Yeah, that is a granddad nap and a half. Yeah,
it would be. And you, Stinks, you're in Madrid?
I had a lovely New Year. I flew out to
New Year, yeah.
Yeah, I flew out to Madrid on the 30th on EasyJet with my knees up my nose and my bag between my legs. That was fun. And then I had, on New Year's Eve, I spent with the Spanish family, which was great fun because my Rebecca's father-in-law makes his own wine, very good wine, and has this extensive wine cellar. So we spent New Year's Eve drinking £200 a bottle wine and eating my whole body weight in food at least twice. So that was good fun. And then on the day on New Year's Day, we went to Segovia, which is this beautiful, beautiful town up in the mountains outside Madrid, which has got a Roman aqueduct and this fantastic
famous musician called Segovia.
Yes, well, I had this conversation with Rebecca. Yes, indeed there was, but nothing to do with Segovia. He was born in Barcelona. But no, yeah, we had a really nice time. We went to this fantastic fantastic shop, restaurant, where their signature dish is a whole suckling pig. So you basically get a piglet, which they serve to the table, and then they cut it with a plate. And then they smash the plate and say poetry. It's very Spanish, but that was great fun.
Don't you get bits of ceramic in the plate?
No, you don't. Well, no, you don't, because we didn't have the whole pig. We just had bits of pig, but we watched it happening on a number of other tables. It was jolly good fun. It was a really nice. It was a really nice break. And I had great fun with my 2 grandchildren. So yeah, it was good. Christmas I also spent with 2 of the kids. That was slightly more stressful because I didn't have a car and I had to borrow one, and then that didn't work very well on the way home, and I had to go to Coventry, which is a shithole. So
let's not offend everyone.
How was yours, Col?
Mine was fine. Yeah, had a nice family time. Josh was over from Nice with his wife.
His
new wife. Still sounds weird saying you and your wife. And yeah, they came over. He was over a bit longer than she was. She was here just before Christmas, went back on like the 27th or something. Josh stayed around till the 29th. So he wasn't here for New Year. I think he had a gig on New Year's Eve. So in Geneva, I think it was, or somewhere. But yeah, that was it. Apart from that, it was... it's been pretty cold the last week or so, it must be said. Snow. You had snow in Buckers Hill, I assume?
We had snow for about 25 minutes yesterday.
Oof,
and it lasted for about an hour and a half.
And I had snow
it stayed in situ for about an hour and a half before it disappeared.
Yeah, we had snow for about an hour yesterday, and it stayed in situ for about an hour and a half. But yeah, mercifully,
it's not Scotland, is it, with the snow? So we're all right.
Josie Jules is very upset. She loves a bit of snow.
Oh, really?
Oh, she loves the snow. She was really upset it didn't settle.
Well, you could, when you move house, you could move to somewhere really exciting like Switzerland, where they have snow, and it's the most boring country on earth.
Yeah, and clocks that work all the time, and you have to do everything by them. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hate the place, but it does have snow.
I was reading something. Was it Lenny Henry come out with a comment that most people are getting rather excited about unnecessarily, because obviously being ironic, saying that the trouble with the snowman is that they're always white and it's very prejudiced. And you can imagine the reaction to some people. How dare you say that? But there you have it. So another depressing Spurs results tonight. I sat there watching that. Did you? You didn't see it, did you, Pete?
No, I've got to the point now where I am where I was in the 1990s, and I don't give a shit anymore. No, I don't. I don't. I just, and we're all the same. I've been with Riz and all of my mates and my Telegram mates and the doctor bloke who I'm going to be working with this year. Basically, Spurs fans all around the world. Everybody's just gone, no, sod it, can't be bothered anymore. Stuff them.
Well, I was saying I think apathetic is the word maybe that
Yes.
we were looking for.
Apathetic.
Apathetic bastard. That's what you are.
Yeah, I am.
And me. No, I'm a bit apathetic. I was telling Geoff before we got on air, I watched the game, and it's like, I don't know, you just, we went 2-1 down, and there's no way on earth we're going to score 3 goals in this game. And I don't think the players actually want this manager. Do you?
No. He's lost the dressing room.
They don't seem to know what they're doing.
They haven't got a clue what they're doing. It's basically, we need to clear out. Half of the playing staff need to go, and all of the management team need to go, and most of the ownership team need to go, and we need to be left with the stadium and the fans, and then build from there.
Can I just say, I really like Thomas Frank.
You like Thomas Frank?
I like him.
I think he's a really good guy, and I think if he's left alone, he'll be really good for the club.
I really like him as a bloke, but basically we're playing crap football. We're playing worse football than we were under Ange, and that was terrible.
It's not him that's playing football, though, is it?
No, but he's setting them up, and he's not setting them up properly. I
wonder whether it was a good choice in the first place, to be honest, because
I don't think it was.
He's a small team manager.
I agree.
With all due respect. And when you've got all the big names and the expectations, you've got no expectations at Brentford. That's the trouble. I mean, I was watching the Sunderland game at the ground the other day, and the Sunderland were the worst team I've seen there, I think, all season. They were awful. They did nothing to about the 80th minute when they scored a good goal, to be fair. They did nothing the whole game. But their crowd, because they're right below me, were absolutely screaming and singing the whole game, cheering them on. And I was thinking, well, that's what supporters should be doing. But the expectation isn't there.
Our supporters do that when they're away. The away supporters are brilliant.
They are.
However rubbish we are, the away supporters are always there.
They are. A few boos at the end of games now, and booing the manager and stuff when he goes over the clap and stuff.
It's inevitable. If you're paying the amount of money we're paying to watch Tottenham, and then they serve up that kind of football.
Can I just say something? For two people who are trying to be apathetic, this is taking quite a long time, and you're having quite a deep discussion about it. Personally, I can't be bothered to be apathetic.
You're apathetic about being apathetic.
Yeah, that's bad, isn't it?
Before we get into the music, I've got a very serious question to ask, because I need the intellectual prowess of my baby brother and my dear friend's baby brother. So, AI is taking people's jobs. Okay, so people are getting worried that AI and big data are going to take people's jobs. And one of the things it's doing is we're doing everything online. And so, we've got less retailers, everybody's buying stuff on Amazon, we've got less banks and all of that. So here's the $64 million question. What's going to happen to bank robbers? There aren't any banks. If you're a bank robber as a career, you're stuffed. You wake up in the morning and go, I've got to drive 64 miles to find a bank.
Your heart bleeds, really, doesn't it? Your heart bleeds.
It does. It struck me. I was sitting on the toilet this morning, and I suddenly had this marvelous realization.
Oh, what are we going to say there?
I had this marvelous realization that bank robbers are a thing of the past. Can you imagine? I mean, all of the films in the 1960s and 70s that were about bank robbers. Now, what would they be about? All people sitting around a computer trying to hack stuff.
The second Superman film with Christopher Reeves has worked it out already. Way back in the 80s. They're going to steal the 0.01 pence that there always is in all the accounts, whatever, and they're just going to steal them through the interweb.
Yeah, but then
which is exactly what Richard Pryor did in that film.
Yeah, but you're not a bank robber then, you're a hacker. And to be a hacker, you've got to have a brain. And as
when is a hacker not a bank robber? That's the question.
What? I'm all in favour of robbing banks, personally. No, but seriously, it stressed me. It stressed me out. I'm worried about the future of bank robbery.
Okay. But
anyway, I thought I'd share that with you.
Robbing
and
banks,
also,
wasn't he in Genesis?
And who was... Who wrote the song about being a bank robber? It was the Clash, wasn't it?
Clash.
No, it was Bonnie and Clyde, wasn't it?
No. The Clash does sing a
bank robber.
Daddy was a bank robber.
Yeah.
Well, what's he going to be now? Daddy was a hacker who spent all day glazing at his computer screen. It just doesn't have the same ring about it, does it?
No, it doesn't. I was thinking,
Bloody
we're getting very serious subjects here. AI is a serious thing. I mean, I'm not real. You might not know that, but I'm not real.
I hadn't worked that one out. Are you a deep fake?
I am a deep fake. I'm a deep faker.
I'm sure that's what my wife called me a little while ago. It might not have been the same thing, though.
Similar. Right, okay. I was talking about this, and I had a dad rock afternoon delights today, and I was thinking, like, dad rock to people of this day and age, dads, isn't the same, is it? I mean, the dads are so much younger, aren't they? Is that fair to say? Dads, you get younger dads nowadays.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dad rock now is going to be, as you say, Stone Roses, and I mean, then they're going to be quite old dads.
Yeah, well, even that, yeah, true. But when they gave me the theme yesterday, Russell gave me the theme for the Becton crew. It was old rock. That's what he said, old rock. And I thought, oh,
you meant
this will be
igneous
good.
and Cretaceous.
But it was actually about sedimentary and igneous or whatever, and mountain and rocks, basically. But that's beside the point.
Volcanic seams and all that.
Yeah,
before we get on to the music and the theme today, one last moment on the football. Sadly, we lost Martin Chivers today.
We did.
Who scored the goal in my first ever game at Spurs.
Well, there we are.
There you have it, yeah.
He got the Spurs goal, and George Best and Bobby Charlton got the Man United ones.
In the 60s, presumably.
68, February 68.
Blimey, United won the European Cup in 68, didn't they?
And we just won the FA Cup. They'd won the league in 67, and we won the cup. Yeah.
All right.
We played them 4 times that season. We lost once, drew 2, and won 1. Which one did I go to? The one we lost. Thereby setting me up for a future as a Spurs fan.
Good. They did it deliberately.
They did.
Right. Okay. Well, that was a long intro. We're doing a Hall of Fame, the Off the Record Hall of Fame. We've done A to E. We did that just before Christmas, and leading into the new year, 2026, because we've always been moaning about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio, which is a nonsense. I think that's fairly. I don't even have to say allegedly there, do I? Some of the inductees, it's not rock and roll at all. So we're having a music Hall of Fame, and we're putting in whoever the hell we want. We put in about 15 artists already. So we're doing this week letters F through J, brackets excluding Jamiroquai. Close brackets. Now tell me that neither of you have got Jamiroquai in your list.
I can say categorically that I have not chosen Jamiroquai.
That's
I can say categorically that I can't spell Jamiroquai.
No, well, that's fair enough. Well done.
But there's a reason why I haven't chosen Jamiroquai, because to annoy you, it would have been fun. But I decided when I was planning for this that there needed to be some rationale for the decisions. So
For
I
goodness
have
sake, you don't want fun.
no,
Fun is absolutely out of the question.
no, I have a rationale. I've decided that the people who go into our Hall of Fame there should be three things, because in the plastic rock and roll, whatever its silly thing in Cleveland is called, don't
Yes.
you have to have been a band for like 30 years or something?
Yeah, I think it's 25 years.
Or 25, whatever. Anyway,
Okay.
so I thought, well, is that really valid? Because you could have been around for 40 years and been utterly shite. So, and there's some strong candidates for that,
Yeah,
if we're honest.
definitely.
Well,
we're going to start
one
with
of which begins with J, and I shall be swerving them very greatly. But so now I decided that my criteria, and these are mine, are how influential they are in their chosen field, their genre, whatever you want to call it, their body of work, so how much stuff they've produced, and then longevity. Okay, so have they been around for enough time for them to have caused ripples in the world of music? So that's the criteria that I've used in choosing mine, and it's why I've left out some bands that I think should be in there but haven't been around long enough to be yet.
Okay, well, I think that's pretty much what you said last time. So
my criteria for this particular 5 was very simple. I'm absolutely in it with Pete for F, G, and J, and for H and I, it was anyone I could bloody well find that was started with an H and I that wasn't Jimi Hendrix, because I know Pete would choose him. Okay. And that aside, I'm thinking I am stuffed with these two. So you've just got
strangely enough, I'm also stuffed with H and I, and I decided because of my thing about body of work, longevity, and influence, I decided we couldn't include Isotope, although we probably should.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, what I've just done is similar thing, like a body of work, and ones I like, obviously, ones that I think merit a place, and we're going to have like a golden buzzer in Simon Cowell terminology, aren't we? To put some, we did this last time. I went Beatles, Stinks, you went Zeppelin, and Geoff, you went
Elvis.
Elvis. You went Elvis. I think 3 creditable inductees to kick off. We're going to do the same this time. Should we just get it out of the way?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go first then. This is one I've said on numerous occasions. Why the hell aren't they in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio? Right?
Status quo.
You've got it right. I'll tell you why. They're formed in 1962, so that qualifies in many ways.
Yeah.
First hit was Pictures of Massive Men in 1968. They've had over 60 hits, which is more than any other band. 23 top 10 singles, one of which was a number 1. 24 top 10 albums, which include 4 number 1s, including 1 live and 3 compilations they had as well. Most appearances by any artist on Top of the Pops over its 42 years of existence, from 64 to whenever it stopped. You can do the maths. They're in the Guinness Book of Records for their 4 arena gigs that they did within a 12-hour period. Sheffield, Glasgow, Birmingham, and then London. They've been honoured by the Queen, at least Rossi and Parfitt have. They switched on the Blackpool Illuminations in 1973, I have,
That's enough on its own.
To a 25,000 crowd. I think the most hard-working band around, and I don't know.
Perhaps the Rolling Stone one dictates that you've got to be able to play 4 chords.
Perhaps, yeah. They might do 3.5.
Well, they might, yeah.
Maybe. It might be.
Now, interestingly, at the moment, Planet Rock are doing the top 500 rock songs of all time, as voted for by their listeners.
Okay, we know.
I've so far, and I've only listened to bits because obviously I was listening to you in the mornings and various other things, but I've listened to a fair number, and so far between 500 where they started and 155, which is where they've got to now, there have been 4 status quo songs in there, which I thought you'd like, to know.
Very pleased by this. One was presumably Caroline.
Well, no, that hasn't been in yet, so I'm assuming that's somewhere between 150 and number 1.
Okay.
Interestingly, also, when they announced they were going to do this, I messaged Wyatt and said, I hate these lists because everybody chooses the ones that they think they should choose, not the ones that they like. And that's always what happens.
It will be number 1.
No, we're in the riffs. So I said to him, right, let me tell you what the top 10 is going to be. And I sent him a list with the top 10. Yesterday, he messaged me and said, this is the top 10. I got 9 out of 10, and I got the top 6, 1 through 6. I know music. Boom. Or at least I know Planet Rock listeners.
One of them isn't Caroline, then, I assume.
No, not in the top 10, but...
No, all right, okay. Well, I'm pleased
to
hear that.
Status quo, absolutely.
I'm putting them in.
I agree, status quo, definitely in there.
Yeah.
All right. Jazzy, what have you got? Have you got one to
Yeah,
go
I've got nowhere near the amount of information you've got. I'm going to go for Dolly. I'm going to go for Dolly the Parton. I don't think you can have a list of this sort of thing without her in it. Within her chosen field, she is top of the tree. She's had hit after hit after hit. Be careful what you said there.
Yes.
And she is an icon of her within her own standing. So I don't think you can not have Dolly in it.
Okay, I concur with that. Dolly Parton's good choice.
And she's played Glastonbury. What more do you want?
Well, the Wombles have played Glastonbury. They're not in the Hall of Fame, are they? Yet?
Not yet. They're not.
They could be. We haven't done W yet. Excellent stuff. So so Dolly Parton is waving the country flag. Oh, careful what I'm saying there. She's waving the country flag. Waving the country flag in.
Oh, come on, please.
Into the Hall of Fame.
Or into the Hall of the Mountain King if you keep going on down this route.
We've got Quo and we've got Dolly. Stinks. Who you got?
Rolling Stones.
Okay, yeah, all right. I'll give you quite a formidable act to follow, really, aren't they?
Can't really argue, in my opinion. So
no, I agree.
No,
all right,
I agree as well.
They're in. They're automatically in, and we are now into the F through J. So who wants to start?
Sorry, before we go there, can I just ask one question? Are you keeping a list of this?
I am. Yes.
Because when we get to the next one, you're going to say who are the shoo-ins, and I'm going to have forgotten by that stage because I've got a list of 3 or 4 here. Okay.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I've got them all written down.
Good.
Right. Who's going to start with the Fs?
Well, you are, because you started the others. Go.
All right. Okay. Now you mentioned about longevity and body of work. Now this particular artist for F, there's we've got F in this, haven't we? So thankfully there's no F in Jamiroquai. 1969, this band was founded or formed, and I think you can probably guess who it is, and you may well have it on your list. Formed out of Small Faces. Once Steve Marriott had left to form Humble Pie. So the remaining members of the Small Faces, Ronnie Lane, Kenny Jones, Ian McLagan, joined up with 2 new members, a singer and guitarist group, Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood. And they called themselves The Faces, although their first album was issued in America as The Small Faces, funnily enough. Which was First Step in 1970.
Did they become eventually Rod Stewart and the Faces eventually?
Maybe after his big success as a solo artist. But the 3 albums, both 4 albums were the Faces. They weren't Rod Stewart and the Faces. It's possible maybe one of the last single was Rod Stewart and the Faces. I don't know. But I mean, the first 2 albums weren't massively successful, to be honest. Very lowly charted, but the third, which was the big number 2 album, number 6 even in America, which is A Nod Is As Good As a Wink, to a Blind
Indeed.
Horse.
To a Blind Horse.
And
To a Blind
the
Horse
number
and a
1
Fence.
album, the last one they had was Ooh La La, which had it on its Cindy Incidentally and the track Ooh La La, which Ronnie Wood sang on the Hootenanny, actually. I don't know whether you saw it. Did you see Jules?
No, I was in Spain.
You were in Spain, yeah. He didn't get it in Spain. But he
No.
sang it.
I was down the road.
You were down the road.
I was.
Oh, okay.
It was good down the road. We enjoyed ourselves.
Good. Good old New Year. See the New Year.
Can't beat it.
Ring out the old, ring in the new. So yeah, what would stay with me, and I just think that they're very, even though they've had a very small amount of work, I think they're still an influential band. Very great. I've never seen them live, but apparently one of the great live acts. I wish I had seen them live in a way, but when they were around, I would only been about 13, 14 or less actually. So back to basics, rock and roll, maybe influencing the punk scene as well, perhaps with like the Pistols and the Damned. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about them really. Their last single was "You Can Make Me Dance, Sing or Anything," and a lot more. I can't remember it all because it's the longest single title ever. Like you can make me dance, sing or anything, or do the ironing, or do the washing, or
Something.
Oh yeah, it's the record for the longest. It's got the record for the longest
single title in the charts. In fact, Ronnie Lane had gone by that point because Tetsu Yamauchi had joined the band. But yeah, I've chosen whether they'll go in or not, we don't know because we're going to.
Well, no, hang on. Okay, sorry, can we just go because we're running this differently from what we did before? So, well, only because have you got more than one F? Because I've got 4.
I've got more than one F here.
Right, so what are we doing? Are you going to do all 4 of yours, then Jeff all 4 of his, and me all 4 of mine, or whatever?
I've only got one of each.
Or fine.
That's what we did last time.
Okay,
it wasn't.
All right.
We had loads last time. That's why I'm asking the question.
No, we really didn't. Well, I only had one of each last time.
Maybe. All right. Well, I've got some others. There are a few Fs that I could have, but the faces for the first one written down is, so that's the one I got.
Okay.
Unless you want to, do you want to throw?
No, it's fine. I just wondered how we were doing it.
Do it however you want. Do it however you want. What else you got, Cole?
Well, I've got a band formed in 1967 by Peter Green.
Fleetwood Mac.
Yes, I've also got them.
You have to.
I would rather Jack than Fleetwood Mac.
Would you really? I'm sure
No,
you would.
absolutely
not. No. Who was that by? I can't remember now.
The Rapper's Delight. No, the Rapper's Delight was the Christmas one, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
But
remember. Anyway, yeah. I mean, obviously, continued success after originally a bluesy band, but when the Americans joined in the early 70s, was it, or mid 70s?
Mid 70s.
Yeah, 72, 73, wasn't it?
A very obvious change in the musical style occurred, but I mean they had their best success when they had the Americans in as well, to be fair.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Yet, if you listen to the Fleetwood Mac bits, if you listen to Mick Fleetwood and John McVie playing together, which there was a thing on the BBC 4 years ago where they just took the bass and drums out. And
really?
Actually, it rarely changes in its blues style right the way through their career.
No, they just
the
Lindsey
two of them
Buckingham.
The two of them play what they play.
Yeah, exactly. And Lindsey Buckingham just put the guitar and Stevie Nicks' voice over the top.
Yeah.
But it was basically a blues band underneath.
Quite interesting.
Yeah.
Only one number 1 single here though, Albatross. Albatross.
It's your Albatross here.
No Monty Pythons. And one number 1 single in the US, which was, do you know what that one was? As a matter of interest?
Go Your Own Way.
No, it was from Rumours though. I think this is on Rumours. Dreams. Was that Rumours or was that on?
Yeah. It's on
I don't know, was that on Fleetwood Mac?
No,
it's on 75, wasn't it?
I've got Rumours, but it's just one of those things that it goes in one ear and out the other. So,
it's a great album.
It's a great album, but I bought it for the chain. So,
that's
16 top 40 singles. 16 top 40 singles in the UK, 17 top 40 singles in the US.
Yeah.
One number
so what was the number 1 in the US?
Dreams. That's what I said.
Oh, right. So I was right.
Did you say Dreams?
That's what I said. I said
right,
dreams.
okay. Oh, well, then you were. Then you were right.
I
I'd have
thought
to
I
play
was.
that back though, because you might be lying.
No, I wasn't lying. I can assure you, I said dreams. Because as I said it, I thought, oh, was that Fleetwood Mac or was that Heart? Oh, no, they had a dreams as well. Anyway, right, there we go.
So did the Cranberries actually. Well,
Yeah, they did.
they're probably the two big F ones I've got. So I've
Okay.
got a couple of others sort of that I would like maybe to be considered at one point. But yeah, let's go on. We'll move on to you, Stiggs. What have you got?
I thought it was Jeff going next, or do you want me to go next? I don't care.
Well, Jeff's only got the one. I mean, you got
All
more than
right.
one, have you?
Well, I have Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
My two kind of top ones, band which didn't last for very long, but then spawned kind of follow-on bands with much the same kind of sound. And I think that on their body of work, which I think was 6 albums and a live album, I don't know whether that was counted as part of the 6, I can't remember. And in my opinion, the best voice in rock. So I'm going Paul Rodgers, and I'm going for Free.
Free. Yeah, I thought you
So
might.
I think, anyone who's a rock fan is going to say that they are one of the very influential foundational bands that took kind of the blues and brought it into, what early 70s rock became. And I don't think anyone could argue a case against Paul Kossoff as a brilliant guitarist. And they wrote some damn good songs. So I think Free would be my first choice. And then my second choice would be a band who also had 2 songs in the top 500 that I heard. One of them in the top 170.
I guess
And that would be Focus. Yeah. And guess which the two songs were.
Hocus Pocus and Sylvia.
Yes, but not in that order. Sylvia first and Hocus Pocus in the top 170. But again, longevity, they're still playing. I saw them live in Harpenden last year. They've now produced 14 or 15 albums. They still play live regularly. They've got spin-offs. Jan Ackerman's doing a tour next year. And I think that if you're talking about influence within their genre, then they would be one of the bands that were very, much part of the prog movement in the late 60s and the early 70s. And I think it's nice to have, because that's the other thing I was thinking about. It's quite nice to have a few entrants that aren't British or American.
Yeah.
Well, just for because there's been so much good music from other places, but all right. Well, AC/DC are probably going to be in there at some point. So there are other places, but basically these lists are always British and American, and I just think it's nice to have something which is a bit different. So I give you Focus as my second choice.
Focus and Free. Okay, so Jeff, have you got?
Well, if I'd have known we could have had 2, I wouldn't have had such an emotional dilemma about my Fs.
All right.
Well, give us
Because I've had a major emotional dilemma about my Fs.
Did you?
I thought I could only have one, so I had to let the other one go, and it's hurt me immensely.
Yeah, you can stop now. You can just tell us the 2. And you really need to concentrate when Colin's briefing you about what these podcasts are about.
I just remember what I did last time. But anyway, so because I've gone on about this lady so many times, it will be wrong for her not to be my choice.
I know this.
What, you mean Ella Fitzgerald?
Ella Fitzgerald.
Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
First lady of song, queen of jazz. Born in 1917, died in 1996. I thought she died before that, but there we are. Impeccable. Like I've said it 100 times already on this podcast. Like, her voice is extraordinary.
Yeah,
it is so controlled. Her diction and her phrasing are absolutely perfect. She had perfect pitch, which helps. And she worked with everyone. She started singing in a church. So many of them did. She did her first nightclub thing in 1934 at the age of 17, where she was supposed to dance, but they didn't want her to dance. They asked her to sing instead. How weird is that?
That is weird.
So she sang instead, and she sang with Dizzy Gillespie and Bing Crosby and Louis Armstrong and Duke Ellington and whatever. 13 Grammys, 53 albums, plus 40 live albums, 40 live albums,
That's a
and
heck of a lot.
six box sets to a name.
I think a lot of these jazz artists.
Say again?
Sorry, I think a lot of these jazz artists do have a lot of live albums. Don't
They do, because back in those days it was very much a live gigging thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel that I could leave her out, and I didn't really want to.
Mm-hmm.
No,
But in
actually,
choosing her, I left out Donald Fagen.
Oh, right. Now, can we have that conversation? Because I was thinking about this earlier. We need to make a decision. If we're going to induct people from a band, are we going to induct them as solo artists as well? Because that's one of the things that really annoys me about the Cleveland thing. Because I think, what's the point of putting in, let's say, McCartney and Lennon as solo artists when they're in as the Beatles? Because they were the Beatles. And I think the same for Steely Dan.
No, I don't agree with you at all.
I must admit, it's one thing about the Hall of Fame in Cleveland that I am in favour of, actually. Because, I mean, George Harrison, Lennon didn't have so many, of course, because he wasn't around for long. McCartney, they all had such a body of work as a solo artist.
Well, did they? I'm going to say something completely outrageous now, Colin. You're going to have to forgive me.
Go on then.
So, the Beatles must be in any Hall of Fame. They must be.
Well, they are in ours already.
I would argue that Wings would need to be in as well.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But McCartney is a solo artist.
Maybe not.
Not 100% certain. Harrison definitely is a solo artist. Should be in there. So I think absolutely you can have a solo artist on the. You have to be able to have, because otherwise, like Steely Dan wasn't just Donald Fagen; it was Fagen and Becker, and all the people that hang on.
Yes,
without Becker, it wasn't Steely Dan.
I agree with you. But for me, I just go, well, you're putting people in Hall of Fame. They're already in there. Why are you putting them in there twice? There's not two people. They're just one person. So they can be in there representing the band and them as individuals.
Mm.
Are we going to have Rod Stewart in there?
You could have a Grammy for the album and a Grammy for a song on the album, couldn't you, I suppose?
Well, you could, but that's different.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's just two songs off an album. It's not the person being in twice. It's fine. We could, it's your show. You can do what you like. For me, I'm not going to put solo artists in who I've already put in a band. So,
Well, I haven't actually put Donald Fagen in because I chose Ella Fitzgerald and I thought we were only everyone.
Well, that's easy then.
I think Donald Fagen for his 3 albums deserves to be in it.
I don't disagree. He absolutely deserves to be in there.
I'm trying to remember now, actually, because I did write them all down. Did we have 3 of... no, right. I was 20... Jazzy Geoff. Right. You nominated 5 into the Hall of Fame last time, overall.
I did, yeah. One from each
You
letter.
nominated ABBA.
Yeah.
Chuck Berry.
No, I didn't do ABBA. You did ABBA. I did Louis Armstrong.
Well, maybe I added. Oh yeah, okay, fair enough. And you had Carpenter's, Doors, and Duke Ellington.
Yeah, so that's 5, one from each letter.
Okay, all right.
I don't remember. It was so long ago that it slipped completely the moorings.
Right, well, I was thinking why are we can't have all the ones we give today aren't necessarily going to go in, are they? We're nominating.
Well, they'll go in eventually. Well, I think the conversation we had last time was we talked about them all and we said, okay, do they really deserve to be in, or do we hold these back for another time? Because we can do this a million times, can't we?
Absolutely.
Go around the alphabet.
So Ella Fitzgerald is definitely in.
Yeah, Ella Fitzgerald.
Ella Fitzgerald. Just Gerald fit Ella by any chance? That's another question.
I think Gerald Forded Ella before he became president.
Oh, this is like Ben Doon and Phil McCavity. Right, so we've done F's. All right, let's quickly get on to G's. Yeah, are we happy with that?
I think we've lost Pete to the inside of his hand.
Yeah, I think so. He can't believe what
I just
we're saying.
remember the meme I got sent today, which I can't remember whether I sent to you or not. Anyway, right, Colin, what do we got?
Well,
G's.
G, I think there's an obvious one, and that's Genesis.
Yeah, they're on my list as potential.
Had to be in as a potential. I mean, formed in Godalming in 1967. Not many bands can say that.
Not many bands would want to.
No, God,
have you been to Godalming?
I have stayed in Godalming for a week.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Past it.
Was it more boring than Switzerland?
I don't know. I was working very hard at the time.
Oh.
Surrey, is it? Is it in Surrey? Godalming?
Surrey, yes.
Yes, sorry.
So Windsor way, maybe.
It's further round, but yes.
Yeah,
it's between there and Guildford.
I saw a sign off the
firmly
motorway.
Chelsea territory.
Oh dear. Okay. Oh, I just looked at the scores today. Newcastle against Leeds was an interesting game. Thought Leeds were going to catch up with us, but Newcastle managed to turn it around and won 4-3 in the end. Changing the subject. So Genesis, yeah. Two distinct bands. We've had this discussion many times.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of probably the latter half more than the earlier half, but I like some of the new, and you're obviously the other way round, Pete. They've had top 10 albums, 15 of them in the UK, including 4 live albums. Top 10 singles in the UK, 19. And the US, very similar actually, 17 top 40 singles, 11 top 40 albums. So they're big, both sides of the pond. Big influence. Steve Hackett was a big influence apparently on Brian May and his guitar, and Alex Lifeson of Rush, and Eddie Van Halen. So he's a big influence, and I read somewhere that Genesis also were a big influence on post-punk artists such as Simple Minds. This is the latter day Genesis. So it's a Simple Minds, and also electronic new wave bands like the Human League, which we might come on to. So Genesis, you've got to be in, haven't they? Really? I mean,
they've got to be in there. Yeah, they've got to be in there.
All right. Any other obvious G's?
I think I've got 5 G's, all of which I think at some point need to be in there.
Well, I've got another G that could be.
All right, what was your other G that could be?
I got in. I mean, I'm not necessarily a fan of all of these. Some of them,
no,
I think
me neither.
Merit a place, but I'm thinking the Grateful Dead.
Yes, I've got them on my list. I've got them on my list as ones that ought to be in there.
Their body of work is huge.
And also their influence is huge. I think if you're talking about bands that started in the 60s and changed the face of music, Grateful Dead are going to be in there. Absolutely, 100%.
Absolutely.
Even though over here, limited success. I mean, 3 top 40 albums over here. That's all. The highest was number 27 in 1970. That was American Beauty, which is a great album, to be fair.
It is, but they didn't play here very often. How many people do we? Sorry.
They played live a lot, though. They were known for their...
Yeah, they were. And the extended jam thing. But, how many people do we know, being the age we are, who saw Grateful Dead live? I don't know anybody.
I don't know.
No, maybe not.
No, and it's because they were gigging constantly in the States. Ralph and I, they did their last concert at Soldier Field in Chicago. They did 2 nights or 3 nights, and Ralph and I were talking seriously about trying to get tickets to go, but we went online to get them, and they were just like hen's teeth. They cost an absolute bloody fortune. So in the end, we bailed out and decided not to go. But I mean, they were terrific live. Whether you like the music or not, they've got to be there, 100%.
Known for their improvisation, you must love that.
Yeah, absolutely. They're like the Allman Brothers. That's why that's that. But I obviously much prefer the Allmans. But yeah, absolutely.
Pioneering godfather of the jam band world, I read.
Yep, 100%. Jerry Garcia.
Jerry Garcia, and they stopped after he died, basically.
Yeah, they did.
Pretty much
Yeah,
so.
that's right.
I mean, in America, they've only had one top 40 single.
Really?
Even
But
in
they weren't.
the States.
But they weren't a singles band.
No, Touch of Grey.
They were an albums band and a live band.
Buying that as well. I remember buying that in 1981. Touch of Grey by Grateful Dead, but it wasn't a hit over here. Right, that's my two Gs then. You had Genesis and Grateful Dead then.
All right, Genesis and Grateful Dead on my list of 5. So I'll throw in my other 3, and then So I for me, you can't have a Hall of Fame without Rory Gallagher, because if you're going to have a list of the great guitarists, he's in my top 5. And body of work, well, enough. Longevity, he was still playing live until he died. Influence, enormous. So I think Rory Gallagher for me would have to be in there. I don't, I'm not particularly a fan. I think that that 2 of their albums are, one's brilliant, one's good, and the rest are nah. But I'd argue a strong case for Guns N' Roses at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Just I, as I say, I've got their greatest hits. I've got their live album, which isn't very good. But I think if you're talking about influential bands, you're talking about that kind of party band from the 80s coming out the States. If you're talking about how they're viewed, I mean, Slash has played with everybody. I'm not gonna say they've got to be in there, but I think they've got to be in with a shout. And then I think the other bands that are seriously in with a shout, maybe not now, but when we go round another couple of times, has got to be Green Day. Because again, I think Green Day have been very influential in that kind of power pop punk
Grungy
kind of
sort of sound, was it? Grungy?
Yeah, and they write damn good songs. I mean, they are very, very good songsmiths. Now, again, I don't think they go in above Rory Gallagher, Genesis, or Grateful Dead, but I think they probably should be there at some point.
Okay, doke. Yeah, I had them all written down on my list here. Actually, those 3. Jeff, you got a G or 2?
I've got a G.
Right,
but given Pete's statement from earlier, I'm not certain I'm going to be allowed this.
All right.
Yeah, you are. Because as long as it's your argument.
Okay, so this person has got 700 recordings to his name. This is not a jazz artist. He's got a Grammy Award, plus live albums, sorry, on that. He's got a Grammy Award and a Grammy nomination. I love this little bit. Let me just tell you this story first. At the age of 11, he entered the Mickey Mouse National Talent Roundup contest and was one of the winners. And he won a trip to California where he met Walt Disney and appeared on the Mickey Mouse Club where he did a tap dance routine and played the drums.
There are a few clues in there, weren't there? But
his first studio recording wasn't until 1968. He was born in 45.
Are we talking drummer here?
We're talking Steve Gadd, yeah.
Yeah, I thought we were. So, Steve Gadd.
And I can't see why a single musician who plays with anybody and everybody shouldn't be in it.
Well, no, okay. I think this is a different issue. Because Steve Gadd is known as being probably the greatest session drummer in the world. Yeah. And he's played with everybody. But he's not associated as a member of any of the bands. So absolutely, I think he's in. And that's a really good shout. I hadn't thought about Steve Gadd, but that would be
let me just tell you some of the people or some of the songs he's played on. So he played with Asia, whatever you call it. He played on The Hustle and with Van McCoy. He played on 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, which we all know about. He played on Chuck Easy Love with Ricky Lee Jones. I didn't know that. No, he played on Mark Cohen's first album, the Mark Cohen album.
Yeah, Walking in Memphis.
Walking in Memphis. He played for Chick Corea, which I think most of us would have worked out.
Yeah.
And he also, I didn't know this, Pete, you probably did. he also played all 11 nights of Eric Clapton's Royal Albert Hall thing.
That was the first Royal Albert Hall thing. The one I went to was the 24 nights, but he did.
And of course, he's played with Paul Simon ever since 50 Ways.
And he played with Steely Dan.
Did he? Okay, well there you go.
Yeah. No, he plays on. Now, what's it? I think he's on at least 2 Steely Dan albums and maybe 3.
And he did 3 years in Vietnam.
Yeah, he did.
So I don't know. His son died last year, didn't he?
Don't know.
Yeah, died of a cocaine overdose.
Oh, nice.
Duke Gal, I think his name was. But I don't know. I think that someone of that nature deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And
100%. Literally, if you ask anyone who's a drummer, who's the best session drummer, I would say most of them are going to say Steve Gadd.
There we go.
Good shout.
Decided, yeah. I thought you were going to go for Buddy Greco or something like that. I don't know why.
No, but I could have done.
You could have done. All right. So Steve Gadd it is. That's the only one you've got then, Geoff, yeah?
Yeah, I've only got one for me.
You've only done the G's. All right, okay. Well, have I got another G that I could mention? Well, I could, but I mean, I'll save it for a rainy day, I think. Should we go on to H's?
That.
Should we go H's?
Go H's.
Go for it.
Right. I've got... Well, actually, I didn't have this guy down. And it's only this late afternoon, I thought, hang about. It's this using the surname that's thrown me.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Absolute
nightmare using the surnames because
what? No,
you just can't be in any list.
That makes it really easy.
Not at all. Not at all. Because any list that you see that I've got, it's quite, it's just in alphabetical order.
I didn't do lists. I did stuff that I own.
Well, okay, you've probably got them records in order by surname, which is fair enough. Genre. As I have, all these CDs around me are in surname. But if I'm looking for song, I can't just think, oh yeah.
Well,
on the second shelf. Yeah. No, looking at first names is easy. Surnames. I mean, when you mentioned Hendrix earlier on, I hadn't even thought about Jimi Hendrix because I'm thinking J.
Right.
How can you not think about Jimi Hendrix as a name?
because I'm not thinking of surnames. I'm looking at lists of stuff that I've got in an easy, accessible list, and I'm looking at J for that. But Hendrix, but as you said, Geoff, thinks he's going to have him anyway.
Without
one I think about, I didn't put this guy in, Buddy Holly.
That's my one.
That's your one. Well, we're agreed. We've got to have Buddy Holly in.
I've got very little on it, so you go for it, and I'll
love Buddy Holly. Love Buddy Holly. Around such a short time, of course. What was he? 22 when he died?
36 to 52. Do the maths. 24.
59. It was. He died. 59. The year I was born. So he would have been
33.
23, 22, 23.
I thought you said he was born
56.
36.
Yeah, 20,
died in 59.
Right.
23.
Yeah.
23, yeah.
Reggie Sears will be upset with you there, Pete.
Reggie Sears was upset with me from the moment he walked into that room until the moment I failed my maths CSE. He was upset to the core.
I got my maths. That was one of the major achievements on my part, actually.
But yeah,
I mean, he was it's a great influence, I think. Unique singing style and guitar playing style, actually, too. I think
the Strat, uncommon in that stage for a pop star to be playing the Strat.
Sort of downward strokes he used to play, didn't he? Like
big chunky chords.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. And he could do rockabilly. It was originally rockabilly, really. Rock and roll, country, and some ballads as well. Again,
do you know why he changed? Do you know why he changed from his original?
What's that?
So he changed. He was originally sort of like country western, basically styled,
Yeah.
and he opened for Elvis
Oh, right. Okay.
in 1955, and decided that rock and roll was the way forward. So they changed his style to rock and roll.
Well, that's
There you go.
interesting. Yeah.
How interesting was that?
That was interesting. That was interesting. Only, well, a very small body of work, as Stinks has put it, is one album with the Crickets, the Chirping Crickets, their debut album in '57. Had That'll Be the Day, Oh Boy, Maybe Baby on it as singles, but also Not Fade Away, Tell Me How, I'm Looking for Someone to Love. Solo album, which they decided to issue separately to the Crickets as a legal thing, came out in '58 called Buddy Holly, but that's gone. I mean, some of these songs, I'm Gonna Love You Too, which Blondie covered on Parallel Lines, didn't they? Peggy Sue there, Listen to Me, Every Day, which
The
Don
one that's got
McLean.
True Love Waits on it as well.
I'm not sure that's on either of those two albums actually, but Words of Love, the Beatles covered,
Yeah.
Rave On. I was just the list of songs goes on, and I haven't even mentioned things like Thinking Over, Early in the Morning, It's So Easy, Heartbeat. It Doesn't Matter Anymore. It's only number one. Raining in My Heart, True Love Ways. You said Peggy Sue Got Married. Oh, Reminiscing. What else? Moon Dreams, Love Is Strange. Oh, I just think he's a massive influence.
There's a really good little quote that I found from Bruce Springsteen. Have you seen this quote?
I haven't.
Okay. This is an interview that he had in August 1978. It's with Rolling Stone magazine, and he says this: "I play Buddy Holly every night before I go on stage. It keeps me honest."
Oh, nice.
That's a real. I thought that was a good.
Well, All Music called him the single most influential creature. Is that right?
Creature?
No,
Creator.
creative. Influential, creative member of early rock and roll, basically. He was an innovator with his own material. I mean, he wrote so many great songs, a load of which, of course, only were demos, and they didn't get issued. So a lot of them were then overdubbed after he died, with like the Ray Charles singers on and stuff, probably like True Love Ways or Raining in My Heart, things like that, maybe. Peggy Sue Got Married, all that one on the originals. But yeah, Buddy Holly for me, love Buddy Holly. One of Macca's favourite artists as well, Buddy Holly. Right, agreed then, Geoff. Stinks.
I'm quite happy to have Buddy Holly. I'm not a massive fan myself, but I recognise his place in rock and roll history, and he knew how to write a tune. It'd be interesting because, he's an example of somebody who was massively influential, but not really great longevity and not a huge body of work. And I would contend that Mr. Hendrix is much the same. Longevity, 4 years, effectively. Body of work, well, yes. But then quite a lot of that posthumous, and like Buddy Holly, a lot of that was redubbed, overdubbed, stuff played, so stuff off the cutting room floor. Was he influential? Oh boy, was he influential. I would argue that in rock music, I'm struggling to think of someone more influential. Now, a lot of people don't necessarily like all of his playing style, and I have to say that when I was at Buckhurst Hill, Hendrix wouldn't have been one of my favourites until I heard Electric Ladyland, and I'd heard that kind of just in sixth form, when it had already been out for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and that's revolutionary. I mean, it just as a piece of work, Electric Ladyland is just one of the great albums of all time. So I don't think anyone would argue that Hendrix shouldn't be in our Hall of Fame. I've got 1.5 others. One who I think should be in now, and a half who I think should be in the future. So I'm going to mention them. So the one I think also needs to go in now is Heart, because I think that they were. They're still going. They were chosen to play the Led Zeppelin tribute at the Kennedy Center, or the Trump Center as it's now called, with no people in it. They were really the first massively successful girl band. So they were the ones who blazed.
I think the Supremes and people like that might disagree.
No. Right, I'm talking about bands. I'm not talking about singing acts. I'm not going to talk about those kind of bands because my genre is rock. So I'm coming at this whole thing from rock with a few other ones thrown in. Okay. So from the perspective, and there'll be some jazz later, but from the perspective of their place in music history, the number of albums they've produced, the huge number of hit singles they've had, especially in the States. They're Canadian, not American, so, interlopers. I think, I'm not going to argue the case, but I think they've got a very, very good shout. Nancy Wilson is a very, very capable guitarist. They're very, very good songwriters. Ann Wilson's got a great voice. I think they're worthy of consideration. The other one who I think in the long term needs to be in is Beth Hart. Now, I would argue that she's now got a very impressive body of work, and she's been around for 20 odd years. I wouldn't say necessarily now, but I think that she's a great blues singer. She's a great rock blues singer. And I think that in the longer term, like Green Day, I think she would need to be there, but not now. I'm not above Hendrix or Holly or Hart.
Okay. One thing I would say about Hart, you mentioned girl band, really? I mean, all the guys in the band surely will be.
Oh yeah, but they were a girl-centered band. I mean, basically, if you say Hart, everybody thinks of Ann and Nancy Wilson. Name the drummer and the bass guitarist. Who knows? Who cares?
I can't.
Yeah, exactly.
No, true.
So I think that if we're talking,
if you name members of Blondie, they can only mention one as well. But I wouldn't call that a girl band.
Well, no, because it wasn't a girl band. It was a band with a girl singer.
I could name all of them if you like.
Well, Blondie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd give it a go. Chris Stein. Frank Infante. Is it Frank Infante, the bassist?
No, it was. Don't you throw me now because I said I could do it.
Jimmy Destry was on keyboards.
Jimmy Destry.
Yeah, it was on keyboards.
The drummer died recently.
Clem Burke.
Yep.
And
Nigel
Gary Valentine was his.
Nigel Harrison was the bassist, right?
Gary Valentine was a bassist, wasn't he?
Gary Valentine. What is not? Maybe he was in the early part, and then Nigel Harrison took over for Parallel Lines onwards, perhaps.
Maybe. Can't remember now, but
anyway, yeah. I think we got them all.
Can I throw one in just as we're talking about it? I didn't put in because I thought you were only doing one, and that's Herbie Hancock, who should be in here, and we can do it another time. I'm happy to put him there another time, but I think given his status within that sorry about this, Colin, but that fusion moment between I know quite. Then it would probably be wrong for him not to be considered at some stage.
No, I agree with you. I think if going round again, then I would delve deeper than the obvious ones that I'm going to choose right through this first run. I agree. Herbie Hancock should be in there. He's very, very influential in that sphere, and was one of the pioneers of moving jazz into jazz rock and fusion. So yeah, 100%.
Okay, well, I'm going to throw a couple of H's in there briefly and see what you think about them. I mentioned one earlier, actually. It's the Human League. They are influential. They are. Genre-defining album with Dare. A body of work. I mean, they had 9 albums since 1977, including, and the number 1 single with that one, Don't You Want Me.
That one. Do we not like that one?
Yeah, I like that one.
Oh, I think it's a great song.
Phil Oakey didn't like it, though, did he? I think it's one of those.
Who cares whether the writer doesn't like it or not? What do they know?
What do they know, indeed? They
bloody
certainly
musicians.
better than when I first, because I saw them live supporting someone like Stiff Little Fingers or Rosillos or someone like that at the Lyceum. And Human League, they hadn't had any hits by that point, and they were more like an experimental electronic band. But it's only when Virgin signed them, I think in '79, that they went on, and their third album, Dare, became massive. I mean, nowadays, I think there's just the 3 of them. I know that the likes of Joe Callis, talking to the Rosillos, Joe Callis, who wrote Top of the Pops and a load of stuff for the Rosillos, he joined Human League and was on Dare. In fact, he probably co-wrote Don't You Want Me, actually. And the 2 girl singers. But by the end of the 80s, there was just Phil Oakey and the 2 girls. So I don't know whether they still tour.
No, I saw something about them fairly recently. I mean, I hadn't thought about Human League because
You thought of going with Elle, didn't you?
No, very good. I didn't see them. I didn't see them as being a Hall of Famey type band, but that's probably just because of the way I was looking at it. Dare is I own Dare. I still play it a lot. I think it's a great album, and they've got a whole scattering of brilliant songs. That I've got their greatest hits tape somewhere. I don't own the album, so I haven't played it for years. But so many good songs that they did. So if we're doing it on that basis, yeah, hell, why not?
Yeah, okay. Part of the new pop movement, they were.
They were.
Influencing many electro and other synth pop bands like the Pet Shop Boys, for example, who went on to have a humongous career. Part of the holy trinity of synth pop.
With Gary Newman.
Along with Gary Newman and OMD.
OMD,
right. So that was one option I thought of. Oh, blimey, I've got another 2 actually. I don't know where. So I'll just give them a mention, see what you think. I haven't been a massive fan of this band, but they had a number of hits, 22 hit singles in 60s and 70s. But I don't like to judge them by their rivals, who I think were a lot better. And this is the Hollies.
Yeah.
I mean, they went on to other stuff.
They probably deserve to be there. I'm not a big fan.
No, I'm not a huge fan, but I thought
they had a couple of really good songs, but I'm not a huge fan. Not like I was for the Birds and the other guys, you know that. But like
I'm the same. I mean, the Hollies were okay, but I mean they wouldn't have crossed my radar as a Hall of Fame band.
All right, then we might come back to that another day once I've bigged them up a little bit. I've written down here Howlin' Wolf.
No, that's interesting because he's not a W.
Well, it's Chester Burnett's his name, isn't it? You're trying to be funny.
In that case, he's under B.
Yeah, it's Howlin' Wolf. He's got an H, hasn't he?
I don't think there is any doubt that he holds a place in
the blues genre.
Absolutely, and was highly, highly, highly influential. So,
but he's nowhere near the league of some of the others we've mentioned earlier on. So, yeah, we'll pass on that one for the time being, and head to your famous and your favourite one, Jeff.
What have you got for I, Jeff?
Why have I got? Why am I going for I?
I don't
because
know.
you said that
I had such a bad time with this because I couldn't find anything or anybody, and then I had a stroke of genius, or a bit of luck, whichever you prefer, and thought, yes, and no one else is going to care.
No, they're why.
So between 1967 and 2022. This person had 22 albums. Is that longevity enough for you?
Yeah, I think that's longevity.
That's a big enough. Plus 6 live albums. The latest of which was in 2023. So they've been going a while. Their songs have been
covered. Frank Ifield.
No, I did think about Frank Ifield. I honestly did. Because I was having such a bad time. The songs have been covered by Joan Baez, Sheena Easton, Dusty Springfield, Celine Dion, Shirley Bassey, Cher, and Nina Simone. So that's quite an impressive group of people to be covered by.
Well, it was going right. It was going well right up to the point in which you mentioned Celine Dion. But anyway,
Dion.
2 Grammy wins, 8 Grammy nominations, and very much the folk side of American pop.
Are we talking male or female here?
Female.
We're talking female.
Right, let me just read this because you'll think this is hilarious. This lady was blacklisted as a lesbian by Bill Crosby, and who deemed that she was not suitable for family entertainment. Oh yeah, yep. And at the time, she was married to a man, but she came out as gay in 1993. And on there's one more thing for you to get. On Valentine's Day, one year, can't remember when it was now. I didn't write that down. She got 461 Valentine cards because her biggest song mentioned that people as ugly as her never got Valentine cards.
I'm struggling with this, Pete. You
Janice Ian.
Janice Ian,
yeah.
Janice Ian. She's one of those people who, beautiful voice, writes great songs, but no one's ever heard of. Like, she just got like there in the background. 17 is a fantastic song.
It is.
Society's Child.
The album that 17 is on is a brilliant album.
Yeah, which is the one that she got the Grammys for. Yeah. Society's Child is a good song. There was I think you played this for me a little while ago, Carl. Fly Too High, which is a bit more poppy. It's got Giorgio Moroder on it, producing it. But they're about the only ones that anyone knows.
Yeah.
And yet 22 albums over 67, 77, 87, 97, 2007, 2017, 55 years.
That's quite impressive.
And she writes science fiction books.
I wouldn't have thought of Janice Ian until I suddenly realised who you were talking about, and then I thought, you know what? Yeah, she's a female singer-songwriter like so many of the other great female singer-songwriters.
There we are.
Go for it. Knock yourself out.
Between the Lines, I believe was the album.
Yes, it was. Between the Lines. It was. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, right. So you got
right. What you got then, Cole?
Well, I've only written down 3 names here, but whether or not any of them can merit their place, I'm sure they probably do. First up, and I'm sure you'd have gone for this one, unless you have it down as a B. It's the Isley Brothers.
Right, I have. They're my other choice. The Isleys.
Got to have the Isleys. But we're not having all of them individually, though, are we? Because we'll be here all night.
Yeah, but I mean, again, that they are very, very influential. I think the Isleys are a really interesting act because they bridged kind of they never were Motown, were they? Or I think they did one album on Motown.
Yeah.
But they mostly they were on T-Neck, weren't they? And yes. I think they bridged between that kind of Motown-y, Detroit-y, Philadelphia-y type black sound, but then a lot of their biggest stuff is real. They're real rockers. So I think they're a real mixture, and that's why I love them.
As George Clinton said, "Who says that black men can't play rock music?"
Yeah, absolutely, indeed.
Well, yeah, tell that to Chuck Berry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
But yeah, rock quite funky as well, weren't they, Isleys?
I agree about the Isleys.
Funk, rock and roll, R&B, ballads, had it all.
And they can get the phrase, "You're a positive, motivating force within my life," into a song that works.
Yeah.
Like, how clever is that?
It's very clever. They were lyrically very strong, especially in things like "Fight the Power." But no, I mean they're a great band. They'd have to be in, absolutely, 100%.
Oh, we agree with Isleys.
Yep, definitely.
And the other one that I'm not a huge fan of, but wonder whether they merit a place, and that is Iron Maiden.
They're on my list. You cannot have a Hall of Fame for rock music without Iron Maiden. They have sold out arenas around the world since the dawn of time. They've had hit single after hit single, hit album after hit album. You cannot get a ticket for a gig for love or money unless you know a DJ at Planet Rock. Basically, they've got to be there, whether you like them or not.
Well, no, that's the way I looked at it. I think, well, I'm not a huge fan. 41 albums they've released.
Yeah, 41 albums.
47 singles, 15 top 10 albums in, I don't know which one, it's the US or the UK.
That'd be UK.
16, yeah, it's in the UK, and 16 top 10 singles in the UK as well, including one number one, which stunned me when it came straight into number one. Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter.
Which is about a night out in Leytonstone.
Is that what it's about?
Yeah, it's about a night out in Leytonstone.
And they've had 5 number one albums here, actually.
Yeah.
The first of which was Number of the Beast, which I believe was the first with Bruce Dickinson in.
It was, post Paul Di'Anio.
Yeah, no, what his name is. Yeah. Okay, so that was the one
Power Slave was the number one, wasn't it? I think
I don't have in front of me, but they had
and
5.
Their most recent one, which I talked about a couple of weeks ago when I talked about the song, that went straight. Book of Souls, that went straight in at number one in the rock charts.
That's it. Yeah.
So I mean, you can't argue, whether you like the music or not. And I'm not a huge fan. I mean, Jeff and I went to see them live; they were great. I wouldn't go and see them again unless I got a free ticket. But it was a thoroughly enjoyable evening. We had a beer and watched Iron Maiden. But you can't argue with their influence in that genre. And the fact they're all West Ham fans, I shall be laughing when they get relegated. So there we go.
Well, we've got to play them on a couple of weeks' time.
We might be going down with them the way things are. Let's not get relegated.
Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't have raised that issue, should I?
No, probably not. And the other one I'm going to mention, but again, I'm not a huge fan. They're all right. They're a bit meh. Are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is probably a reason why you shouldn't pick them. I don't know. From Australia. You know who I'm talking about.
In Excess. Yeah, not a fan.
Not a fan.
Maybe they'll get in one day, but not at the moment. But they have had 17 UK top 40 singles.
You can't argue it, really, can you?
No, top 20 albums in the UK.
I think In Excess are a little bit. I think we ignore them a bit because Michael Hutchins was such an arrogant prat. Or at least he appeared to be. Now, whether he actually was or not, we'd best ask Carly, I guess. But he just gives that aura. It's the Bono aura, isn't it? That he was a really arrogant, know-it-all, strutting about sort of chappy, And I think that puts a lot of people off listening to what they're actually producing.
Maybe.
To be brutally honest, apart from that song that gets played to death, I can't think of an In Excess song. That's how much they've not crossed my radar.
Fair enough.
Which one? We're talking Suicide, whatever it's called.
I have no idea. I just, every now and again, a song comes on and someone says it's In Excess, and I go, "Oh, I know this."
Need You Tonight. Need You Tonight.
Possibly.
It's another great song. They did do some great. Never Tear Us Apart. I love that as a song. But anyway, they're not going to go in now. Which means, have we done Eyes? Have you got an eye?
Yeah.
Or did I mention?
No, Jeff had already done his Eyes because he'd done Janice Ian.
And you? Have you done yours?
I Iron Maiden the Eyes.
This is an Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Okay.
So cover both of those.
So we are just left with Jays, of which hopefully we'll have a little bit more joy.
Hey, see what we did there?
Possibly. Yep. A little.
It's very good. Boom, boom.
Okay. Well. Surely, again, not a massive fan, but if he's not in, something's gone a bit wrong. But Michael Jackson, surely he's got to be in there.
Got to be in there.
Yeah, I'd
Without a
forgotten
doubt.
him. I'd forgotten him completely. He wasn't on my list, but yeah, he has.
Did you have him as an M?
I didn't have him as an anything. No, I already told you I did not have this problem. I didn't
No.
have him in because I had 4 other people, 4 other bands / individuals that I thought were worthy of a shout.
To be fair, the only reason I remembered it is because I thought, oh, Jackson 5, surely they might get a mention. And then I thought, oh no, hold on, maybe Michael Jackson would be a better bet. Well,
I
Jackson
think it
5,
will be. I think it would be reasonable to assume that if he didn't go in now, he would become one of the golden picks at the beginning. Like there is no logical reason not to put him in. He was brilliant at what he did.
Yeah.
well, so we put him in now then. Might as well.
Oh.
Might as well straight in as far as I'm concerned.
Just go in.
Who else you got,
Right.
Carl?
What else?
Can I guess who else you've got?
Well, you know one of them, surely.
Billy Joel.
Have you got 2 piano players? Have you got 2 piano players?
He hasn't got Billy Joel.
I haven't got Billy Joel.
Don't worry, because I have.
Excellent. All right, okay. Well, someone else can spout nice stuff about Billy Joel. Oh dear. B. It's a B. It's a B. Billy Joel.
So have you got Elton John then?
I haven't got Elton John either. I haven't got either of them.
I've got both of them, and I've put them on the list, even though I know Colin is going to mention both of them. How can you
I'm not going to mention them because you've got them.
How can you not have Elton John and Billy?
I have got a band that you can't argue isn't a J, even by my terminology, and that's the Jam.
The Jam, of course. Yeah. Well, they deserve to be there.
I think so. 18 consecutive top 40 singles in the UK, including 4 number ones. Ended at their peak. Paul Weller drew a line under it, didn't he? They had 1 live album, 6 studio albums, just the last of which went to number 1, which was The Gift. But yeah, I think they're all mod cons for me. Their 3rd album is, for the new wave genre, I think is up there as top 2 or 3 ever albums up there in that particular genre, with Down in the Tube Station at Midnight. Great writing, tight musicianship from the 3 of them. Buckler, the late Rick Buckler, of course, Bruce Foxton on bass, and Paul Weller. Up to When You're Young, it's another single I really love. They didn't get higher than 13 in the chart, and that was their 2nd single all around the world. They generally sort of stalled around 15, 16 time. It's only when Eton Rifles came out in '79 that they went to the stratosphere. They went to number 3. And Setting Suns was a number 2 album, I think. And then, yeah, Sound Effects and one more album after. That's Entertainment was a great single as well, but it's got to number 21 on Import alone, which I think was a record chart position for a record single on Import, which they might have broken themselves with Just Who Is a 5 O'Clock Hero, which got to number 8 the following year or 2 years after. But yep, I think the Jam as a band, definitely. So would you say the Jam and Paul Weller will be treated separately then? Stinks.
Well, do we, or let's say we went for oh heavens, I forgot what they're called now. Style Council.
Style Council, yeah.
Well, yeah, but you see, again,
we're not going to go to Style Council because they weren't as good. But
no, exactly my point. I would argue that, you know, if you're going to put the Jam in, and I didn't. I mean, I thought I could mention the Jam, but Colin's going to. They didn't have. Yeah, and Elton John. They did. I don't think they had the longevity, but I think they certainly had the influence and the body of work for the length of time that they were together. So I think if you're talking about new wave, then they are absolutely, you know, they should be a representative in our Hall of Fame, 100%.
Okay, all right.
who have you got?
Who's going Elton and Billy then? Who's going for those?
Well, okay, Geoff, who have you got?
Well, I haven't got either of those 2.
Because you thought I'd have them.
Right, I've got 4. Okay.
Right.
I could do mine first if you want.
Yeah, go on, do yours, and then we can have a round robin about the ones I've got.
Okay. 7-decade career, 28 Grammys, Primetime Emmy, Tony, 7 Academy Awards, 4 Golden Globes. It's estimated that they were involved with 4,500 recordings with different people. Born in 1933, grandmother was an ex-slave, grandfather was Welsh.
Shirley Bassey.
Male.
And also a
It
J.
does begin with
And
J.
also a J, yeah. Jolly Shirley Bassey. She was named
Jolly.
Jolly Shirley Bassey.
Wrote the musical scores for Heat of the Night, The Italian Job, The Colour Purple, and Roots.
What's this? What's the name?
Worked with Billie Holiday, Lionel Hampton, Elvis, Frank Sinatra, Count Basie, Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, Gillespie, Michael Jackson, Ella Fitzgerald, and Peggy Lee, and had one of his own solo number ones with a song called I Know Corrida.
Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones.
Good shout. Yeah.
Quincy Jones. I don't think you can leave him out.
Well, I mean, he's in for 2 reasons. One, because of longevity, influence, absolutely brilliant producer.
Yeah.
And all of the other stuff that he was involved with. And that solo album of his with I Know Corrida on it is just, it's faultless. It's a brilliant album.
I've got a solo thing of his from years and years ago that's got a great version of Smackwater Jack on it, which is just brilliant.
Oh, he's so talented, really is. Yeah. Forgotten about him completely, but I mean, I love that album. Again, it's one I've got on tape. I'm gonna have to get it on CD, but it's an absolutely superb album.
Smackwater Jack. Was that Howlin' Wolf?
No, it was Carole King.
I was going to say it's Carole King.
Well, it sounds like it should be a Howlin' Wolf song, shouldn't it?
does.
It's Carole King, but it's Carole King, but James Taylor did it as well.
Could I have had Smackwater Jack as a J, or would it have to be an S?
No, a W, obviously.
Oh, Water Jack.
No, it's
Water Jack.
Yeah, Water Jack is hyphenated. It's a double-barreled surname. And his first name was Smack.
Anyway, there you go. Quincy Jones.
All right, okay.
Who have you got?
Okay, so before I get my 2, can we just talk about Elton John and Billy Joel? For listeners, literally Colin mentions Billy Joel every single podcast available, and Elton John, and on the one that matters, he's forgotten both of them. So, right. Do we want to say anything about Elton John or Billy Joel that hasn't already been said?
They both deserve to be there unequivocally.
Unequivocally, they both deserve to be there. They're both piano artists, but of a very, very different style. Very different. Billy Joel's much more mellifluous, and Elton John basically plays the piano like the drums. But
no, go back. Mellifluous.
Mellifluous. They are.
What the hell does that mean?
Look it up.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's annoying, Jeff, isn't it, when people use long words just to appear perfect.
Absolutely. Yeah, just a show off. You mean he plays in a more classical style, is what you meant?
All right. No, yeah, he plays the piano in a mellifluous way. Look it up. Anyway, but they're very, very different styles, but they're both brilliant songwriters. And The Stranger is one of the great albums, and Goodbye Yellow Brick Road is one of the great albums, and I can see no rational reason why both of those should not be in our Hall of Fame. As I can see, no reason, and I will die on this hill, that the double J, Janis Joplin, also has to be in the Hall of Fame, because she had no longevity whatsoever. Her body of work is 2 albums, plus some stuff she did with Big Brother.
Big
But her
Brother.
influence is massive, and he's quoted by, name a singer, Ella, Beth Hart, Els Bailey, all of those singers. They all say they're influenced by Janis Joplin and Janis Joplin's style. So I don't think we can have a Hall of Fame that doesn't have Janis Joplin in it. And then,
can I just say I don't like Janis Joplin's voice?
Yeah, you've said that many times, and a lot of people don't like Janis Joplin's voice. I very much understand that it is an acquired taste, but you can't deny its influence in the field.
I am not denying that, sir. I just don't like her voice.
No, I totally get that. I don't like Elvis's voice, but I didn't argue about him being in there. So, yes, indeed. I found a drawing of mine that I did of Elvis back at school from one of my art exams. I was furkling about under the table and I found it, and I thought, why was I drawing Elvis? I cannot stand the bloke. Anyway, there we go. It was a good drawing. I was very good. Right. And the other one I'll just have as a shout out. I think A Journey, because they started when Neil Schon and Greg Rowley left Santana just after Caravanserai, and they've had an absolute army of hits across the last 35 years, and I think they probably are worthy of a place. And name someone in the world who doesn't know Don't Stop Believing.
Well, there aren't many probably that don't know Don't Stop Believing.
No.
Can we name some that wish they didn't?
Different point. You mean the way I feel about Bohemian Rhapsody. But anyway, yes. So that was my other choice. So Billy Joel, Elton John, Janis Joplin, and then brackets Journey. I'm quite happy they go in later, but I thought they were worthy of a mention.
All right. Well, I've got a little shout out actually for another Jackson. Not Jermaine.
Lamar.
Not Randy.
Joe.
Oh, Joe Jackson.
I saw him walking down the street looking with a gorilla. No, I didn't. That was him, wasn't it?
That was him, yeah. With your cup of coffee out in the window, were you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know he thought he was a lot. His contemporaries are like Graham Parker and Elvis Costello, I think, and his Look Sharp album was a great album. A good songwriter. Is she really going out with him with such a great song? The one you were referring to there. Song, it's different for girls. He recorded 21 albums.
Didn't he have an electronic pop hit a few years later?
Well, he had a bit more because he went a little bit more jazzy. Jazzy. Yes. With the likes of Stepping Out, which is
that's the one. That's the one I meant.
Yeah, that's the song.
I love that. I love that
good
song, Stepping Out.
He was a good songwriter.
5 Grammy noms he had. Definitely a mix of rock, melodic jazz, and new wave. He even sang a song with Suzanne Vega. You remember Left of Center?
I don't remember. I remember Suzanne Vega, but I don't remember Left of Center.
He had a single with that. The debut album only made number 40 in the UK, but he had a little bit of success in the States as well, because that album was 20 in the US. And I'm the Man, which is the second album, was number 12 here and number 22 over there. But his most recent album was in 2023, which is called What a Racket, which is actually the sound of Iron Maiden, actually, to be perfectly honest.
I thought that it was a concept album about tennis.
It could have been.
Is he still with us, Mr. Jackson?
Joe Jackson, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't there a you were talking about Steve Gadd earlier on? Wasn't there another sort of session musician? Was it somebody Jameson or something? Jimmy Jameson or Jimmy?
The bass player.
Yeah, what's his name? Do you know?
James Jameson.
James Jameson.
I think so.
Okay.
He's a guy who was so ratted one day that they had to drag him out the bar and he played the bass line to She heard it on the grapevine or something, lying on the floor of the studio because she couldn't stand up.
Yeah.
So they literally
Sounds like my kind of guy.
put his bass, lay his bass on top of him and said, well, just play it, and he did.
That sounds like my kind of guy.
This
is someone I want to spend New Year's Eve with.
Jameson, that's why I keep finding up Jimmy Jameson, but he was the guy that sang with somebody. Was it Jameson? Jimmy Jameson.
No, I thought it was Jimmy James and the Vagabonds.
There's another one, another J.
No, Survivor. He was the singer with Survivor. Ivor Tiger or whatever. No, James Jameson. That's the one.
James Jameson, yeah.
So he must have been on a lot of. Well, we won't bother with that now. But
he
must
did.
Have been on a lot.
Basically, he was Motown's go-to bass player.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He's on
the session bass player.
Yeah.
But he's been dead. He died years ago.
James Jameson, he's dead certainly. As is Jimmy Jameson, the guy from Survivor.
A
lot of people are.
Didn't survive though. Yeah.
Historically, it's there's more than there are alive.
Yes, a lot of people die. It happens. It's this kind of weird cycle.
It's a sad fact of life.
Birth, teenage, marriage, tax, death.
Done the eyes, done all. No other little mentions for anybody.
I have one other F which I opted not to say, but I think that going later, and that's Foreigner.
And I did, when we got to G, I did contemplate the fact that you might have gone for Andrew Gold.
Me?
So I kind of left Andrew. Yeah, I kind of left Andrew Gold out.
He's a lovely boy.
I would have had it down as an A anyway. So
he was a lonely boy, wasn't he?
He was a lonely boy.
He was a very lonely boy.
He couldn't believe his dad. They told him that he was the only son.
He was the
only one. What a lonely boy.
Yeah. What a great song that was.
So who are we putting in then?
Well, just a couple of shout outs for the Fs. Actually, you mentioned you had an extra F. Did you say what was the F that you said?
Foreigner,
yes. I've got a couple. One, which are influential. Again, they're probably still going, to be perfectly honest, in the country rock genre. Debut album was Gilded Palace of Sin in 1969. Formed in LA in 1968 by Graham Parsons and Chris Hillman of the Byrds. As that's the Flying Burrito Brothers.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah. What about your lot, Pete, that you like? The Fugees. You like them, don't you?
No, okay. I decided against the Fugees and I decided against Lauryn Hill under the H's because although they had influence, they didn't have a body of work. They didn't have a body of work or longevity.
Right. Okay. Sorry, Cole, I interrupted you. What was your other one?
The other one was the Flaming Groovies, which didn't have any success at all. But
no, okay. We can't put them in because if we do, we're going to have to put in Sham 69 and basically every band in history. So no.
I love Sham 69.
I'm sure they're quite the same. And Flaming Groovies were around in the mid-60s.
I was just talking about length of... Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, true. But then we have had others that are limited.
What about Mary Hopkins?
Body work. Mary Hopkins.
What about Mary Hopkins?
Oh.
Just pull yourself together.
Those were the days.
Those were the days. That's a Russian folk song, though. Don't tell that to Pete.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine Mary Hopkins in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland in that long dress? Nah, not happening.
Did she
with
have
a mashed potato haircut?
Right, yeah, that's a good question. Who are we putting in? Because we need to restrict it.
We do.
Because we've got a number of names here. So Fs, I've got a number. We'll restrict it to, presumably going to restrict it to 3, are we, for each?
That's what we did last time, and then we just recircle.
Unless I'm very much mistaken, we've got the Faces, Fleetwood Mac, Free, Ocus, Ella Fitzgerald, Donald Fagen.
I
think of
Ella
all of those,
Fitzgerald, Free, and someone else.
Surely Fleetwood Mac would.
Fleetwood Mac, yeah.
I can't argue with Ella Fitzgerald. Of my list, I would have 3 because I'll have Focus next time around. And someone else said Fleetwood Mac, so I'd be quite happy supporting 3 Fleetwood Mac and Ella.
Yeah.
Yeah,
more.
3
Me
Fleetwood
too.
Mac and Ella Fitzgerald done. It's a deal.
Right, have you written this down?
Yeah, I've got a rings around so I can put that somewhere else. Okay, G's. We've got Genesis, Grateful Dead, Rory Gallagher, Guns N' Roses, Green Day, Steve Gadd. Can you think of any others that you mentioned? I haven't written them down if you did.
Okay, of my list, I would choose Rory Gallagher first.
Well, I think Genesis should go in.
I think Genesis have got to go in.
Genesis, Rory Gallagher, and Steve Gadd. Then
I'm happy to get rid of mine if you've got one which are more deserving.
No, I think the only other one that you'd argue it would be Steve Gadd or Grateful Dead.
Yeah, one of those two.
As the vote goes.
Well, I mean, Grateful Dead were on my list and I forgot Steve Gadd, but that's not to say I wouldn't support Steve Gadd because he's brilliant.
And maybe he can go in next time.
Stick the Deads in then.
We'll stick the Deadheads in.
Right, so Rory Gallagher, Genesis and Grateful Dead.
Correct. H's. Right, got a lot of those. We won't have so many in the eyes. We just put them
Hendrix.
all in. I've got Holly, Hendrix, Hart, as in Heart, not Beth. Herbie Hancock, Human League, Janis Ian, Janis Joplin.
No, they're J's.
Their eyes.
Sorry, I've gone too far down. So I've got, Buddy Holly, Jimi Hendrix, Hart, Herbie Hancock, Human League, Hollies, maybe. Yeah.
Well, on that list, Hendrix has to be there.
All right.
Hendrix and Buddy Holly have both got to be there.
Yes, I was going to say, even though I didn't choose him, Hendrix and Buddy Holly, yes. So the issue then is who's the other one?
So Hart, Herbie Hancock, Human League. I'm easy either way, really.
Well, to be honest, although we didn't talk about him very much, of that list, I'd probably choose Herbie Hancock.
Happy with that, Jeff?
Over the moon.
You would be. You're over the moon. Herbie Hancock, Jimi Hendrix, Buddy Holly. Eyes? Well, we struggle with eyes. We haven't got many at all.
We've got the Maidens of Iron.
Isley Brothers, Iron Maiden, In Excess, Janis Ian. Are they the only eyes we've got?
Well, so Dump In Excess.
Dump In
No,
Excess.
you already said that.
Isley Brothers, you said?
Yeah, Isley's, Iron Maiden, Janis Ian. They're the only.
Yeah, Isley's, Iron Maiden, Janis Ian. There's the 3. Boom, job done.
That works.
The next eye show will be entertaining, won't it? We'll be going for the ink box.
Be okay if we spell it E-Y-E.
And finally, then the J's, and we've got a stack here.
This is going to be hard.
In no particular order, I've got Michael Jackson, The Jam.
Well, no, hang on. Didn't you just agree that we're going to extract Michael Jackson and dump him into the golden ticket round?
Oh, next time maybe. Okay, we can do that. That might be easier.
Well, it doesn't need to be next time. We've mentioned it. Just dump him in there now.
As a golden buzzer.
Yeah, just put him in the golden buzzer. That makes it easier.
That leaves us The Jam, Quincy Jones, Elton John, Billy Joel, Janis Joplin, and Journey.
Well, okay. Of that list, personally, and although I love all of them, I would choose Janis. Of my lot, I would choose Janis Joplin of my J's.
Okay. So Janis Joplin. What was your J then? Oh, your J was Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones. I would struggle to see past Quincy Jones with if we're leaving Michael Jackson.
I agree with you. I think it was a really good choice, and I hadn't thought about Quincy Jones. Well, it's a really great shout. So Janis Joplin and Quincy Jones. What are you going for, Cole?
Well,
Elton or Billy?
My choice
no,
was The Jam.
because his choices were different. But we
my
can drop.
Choices was The Jam, but then of course we've got Elton and Billy. I mean, 2 of those. I mean.
I think it's fair to say that Elton will end up as a golden ticket. No, he doesn't have to today, but I think he would do if we just left things.
Well, should we put him in with Michael Jackson then? And then I'll
Up to
go
you guys.
Billy Joel.
Right. That's all right. So put Billy Joel in the discussion
Billy
list.
Joel in
Shove
for this one.
shove Elton John up in the
Golden buzzers.
up in the golden buzzers.
So we've got Elton and Michael Jackson in the Golden Buzzers, and we've got Quincy Jones, Billy Joel, and Janis Joplin. That should give us 15 new inductees.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
We're done. Yeah, I'm
Very
definitely
well,
looking
George.
forward to the eyes next time. That will be interesting. Which does begin with I, but I'm not sure there'll be many other eyes. Well, there must be some eyes.
I think we'll end up back at Isotope, won't we?
Well, there's a brilliant band who are kind of a vaguely Christian rock band, Iona, who've got Nick Beggs from Kajagoogoo on bass, and I can't remember the name of the girl singer.
He's a bit too shy though, isn't he?
He's too shy. Hush, hush. Eye to eye.
Yeah. Amazing.
Right. Good.
That's it. That's it. Thank you very much, guys. As usual, we'll put those in, and we'll get them in the book one day, won't we? With a little bit of a summary.
Absolutely. We're going to publish it, and our reasoning, which will be ludicrous.
Because the other lot won't put them in, we're going to.
Yes, exactly. I've chosen this one because it's the only I knew.
The only I can think of. This is what we want. Right. Okay. This podcast will be posted to the usual forum over the coming days. Spotify being the main one, but it would also be one day, possibly, maybe on
the BBC.
The BBC. Not that we care. We don't care.
Not at all. No, not at all.
We don't care. But they ban things that are ridiculous to ban, like I'm the Walrus for mentioning the word knickers. And
listen, basically everything Geoff said in the first 5 minutes of this podcast, we will get banned for. So there's absolutely no chance of us being in this one.
Oh well, and we're try and investigate putting off the record edited show somehow onto CBW Radio one afternoon a week. Well, we don't know when that will start, but we're working on it. So that's something to look forward to in 2026 in the coming weeks. In the meantime, and I'll be on the air tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock as usual, 7 a.m. Sorry for the pre-show, with a load of songs. And including some of these, I'm thinking, that we've mentioned today, or songs by the artists that we've mentioned today. So join me tomorrow on CBW Radio, the last station you'll ever need.
Indeed.
It is, isn't it? And all that's left for me to say now is, it's a good night from me.
It's a good night from him.
It's a good night from them.
Not half.